Behold! Science! Also, Kay teleported to a different part of the room. It seems there are other things besides what the ambassador mentioned that have changed. It's possible that we might find the escape route the person case used as well. Oh, what is this? Is this some sort of light show I was not told about? This is the power of a true vigilante! It's recreating the room with the info I inputted, with style and pizzazz! Really? That's certainly one interesting device you have there, Miss Faraday. I believe it's about time we return to our investigation. All right then, well, first things first. Is this the green fire, but I feel like you know what I mean when I ask that. These must have been the large green flames Ambassador Pelino saw. With flames like these, it's no wonder he couldn't get in. Okay, by the time you came into this room, had the fire already been put out? Yeah, the fire had died out or something by that time. And this fire is here only burned from the time the fire started on the 3rd floor until the Yatagarasu appeared and caused a stir and babble, I suppose. I guess Mr. Palino was just lucky enough to run into the fire as it was burning, huh? Yes, you could put it that way. And since you were the first to discover the body, we can assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person you were chasing, of course. I knew it! That person I saw was definitely up to something no good. I mean, that person could even be Mr. Cochin's killer. That is very likely to be the case, yes. After all, the person came into this room before you, and must have chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here. Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it was to prevent anyone from coming in. But then, what did the person set on fire to make the green flames? Apparently not an ink bottle. Well, whatever it is, the person burned it. It made a rather sizable fire. And since the fire's green, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? It's a bit tinier than these flames, but you get what I mean. Yes, and I do believe that what you're thinking is exactly why these flames are green. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames? Wait. I was gonna use the ink bottle, but are you trying to get me to bring up the lantern? Yeah, okay. I was gonna use the ink bottle. I was like, this burns, but no. I get it. This silhouetted lantern, its green flame comes from the white crystal oil it's burning. Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green it gives off. I think we've now established that the green flames were caused by white crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there is only one other thing made from white crystal oil. Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Palino was mistaken about, right? Yes, precisely. As we found out earlier in our investigation. What? I don't get it. Can you fill me in, sir? I absolutely cannot. Fine, I suppose. I'll explain it in a way that even you can understand. This is the thing made from white crystal oil that Ambassador Palino was mistaken about. Bubbly's ink is made from white crystal oil. Oh, so it should burn the same color as the flames in the lantern, right? Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from a bottle of Bubbly's ink. Because we found the ink Mr. Cochin used on his desk, right? Yes, however, we know that Mr. Cochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with that ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flames. Dear God, no one wants to give birth to flames. That'd be horrifying in a hospital. Giving birth to flames at all, yes, but green ones? Whoa, that's otherworldly. Oh yeah, I'm beginning to really feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. It would appear that I finally found it, the smuggling ring's real goal. Made of Bubbly's inks, this is the source of the green flames. What? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Counterfeit bills! What would consume that great of a volume of ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that the smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zingfa. You're kidding. I never kid, and you know that. You're saying that it was Mr. Cochin who made the counterfeit bills? I am. I believe you could even go so far as to say that he stole Babble's printing press. Ambassador, Mr. Cochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correctly? Correct, yes? Right, yes, and I do remember seeing him use it in the middle of the night. Dear God, why don't I ever ask him questions? But never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed. What else would you be using it for the middle of the night? Come on, man! Ambassador! Because of your secretary's crimes, you'll need to be investigated as well. Yes, I suppose so. We've caused a bit of trouble for a few countries, haven't we? Yeah, so I've heard. It's my duty to search out all who shielded Mr. Cochin and concealed his crime. For they are the ones who started the fire in order to destroy the evidence. And I already made that joke before, so I'll keep it to myself this time. It's best to not repeat yourself. I know, never stopped me before, right? But still, I'm trying. Anyway, I didn't even get the menta. I gotta talk to this girl. She's got so much to say. Ready for a review on how to use Little Thief? Okay, here we go. I mean, I already knew. Objects outlined in yellow are things that are not present in our time, but were in the past. Things outlined in a dotted line are things that exist now, but didn't in the past. I see. You can examine and interact with replicated people and objects as you normally do. You can even present evidence whenever you find an inconsistency. Oh, and be sure to point out mistakes on the recreation with evidence, too. I think I remember now. Thank you for the refresher course, Kay. Head pat. If there's something you don't get about Little Thief, feel free to ask anytime, okay? No problem. What do you gotta say about this investigation? I haven't put all of the info we got from Gummy and Ambassador Palino. With this recreation, you should be able to tell what changed because of the fire. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's try investigating this room one more time. Yes, let's. In order to find out what truly happened here in this room, we will need to gather more information from this room. It's time to take another look. All right, then, but do you notice anything? Looks like it was quite the fire, huh? Yes, it appears that the flames spread fairly quickly to some of the other rooms as well. Yeah, but thanks to Gummy's info, I was able to recreate the room. Plus, the burnt shelf is still, the burnt stuff. There's a burnt shelf too. It's still lying around, so you can check those as well. The state of this room before and after the fire. You can probably obtain some new information by comparing the differences. Yes, that's what I'll do. And I'll use any new information to complete my logic, like some kind of logical man. That being said, yo, Gummy, what up, dude? Detective, you took part in the initial Babel investigation, correct? Yep, sure did. It also helped put out both fires, sir. But that first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the 5th floor, so I had to do a wicked sweet swan dive out the window. Did a 5-point landing, though. First, I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea, because it was in use. Also, isn't using an elevator in a building that's on fire really stupid? If I hadn't remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd have been burned to a crisp. Wait, that's odd. We always warn our staff that in case of fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator. Ha-ha! I'm not totally stupid! Huh. Maybe someone wrote it in a fit of panic? Detective, did you see the Yatagarasu that came into the Babalese embassy at all? I didn't personally. And the other staff members told me they never got a good look at the person either, sir. I wonder if you could tell me a bit more about what you discovered, Detective. What do you know about this fire? The second fire broke out around the time the Yatagarasu was spotted in Alabast. Do you have any idea how hard it is to not Freudian slip in the One Piece country? Good God. That's also when a suspicious person was spotted in Babel, which caused some panic. So no one was able to get a good look at the Yatagarasu that entered Babel. Yeah, all they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. That's not enough to make a positive ID, you know. Still, it was enough to make the people who received the calling card panic even more. A person in a long coat. Sounds like the exact same person I saw. The Yatagarasu that appeared in Alabast was proven to be just a fabrication, a shadow. In light of the fact the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel is also a suspect. You can't be serious! Of course I'm serious. I'm Miles goddamn Edgeworth, Kay. Get with the program. Oh, and we're this close to capturing the fake. I mean, Callisto, you. So, the Yatagarasu appeared, caused mass confusion, killed Mr. Cochin, then friggin' disappeared. That's not good. Alright, then what did you personally see, you pointy-headed buffoon? I'm sorry, I'm just very invested. By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu? I did, but, well, this embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members I was with and was lost for a while there. You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective? Yeah, I'll be sure to do that from now on, sir. But you know, it was thanks to me being lost that I was able to come to Kay's rescue. No? Is that a fact? Yeah, it was when I was lost and wandering around in the 3rd floor hallway, sir. When I heard a scream, I headed towards it right away. Oh, that's probably from when I found Mr. Cochin's body. Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got real worried and ran as fast as I could. Which is deceptively fast. It was thanks to Gummy that Miss Sheena wasn't able to take me away. He covered for me until you got here, Mr. Edgeworth. See? Gumshoe's a good dude. Oh, I see. so he can be useful once in a blue moon. Edgeworth, you and I both know he's been useful on multiple occasions in multiple games. Still, it's too bad that Agent Sheena got here before I did. I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here. Well, just before I got to this room, I saw her coming out of the room next door. You know, it was something I was pondering to myself. I found it incredibly interesting just how fast Sheena was able to respond to the scream. I get that she was probably around, but that seemed a little odd to me is all. Agent Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yatagarasu herself earlier. Well, she apparently helped in putting out the first fire. Then during the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yatagarasu. Didn't care much about the second fire. Downright disgusting. Seems to be a very dedicated agent. You would do well to learn from her. Why are you pointing at me when you say that, sir? I wonder. I can't throw accusations around, obviously, but I don't know. That's just how I'm gonna be. Let's see. What else would there to be? Oh, right. Well, this looked particularly interesting to me, at least. Did somebody jostle up the clock? His grandfather clock was apparently in a different position before the fire. According to staff members, the clock was flush against the wall before the fire, sir. Which means that most likely it was moved by someone during the fire. Speaking of which, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I don't hear any chiming. Well, that's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot of every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged its internal mechanisms or something. Ambassador Palino, may we take a look inside that clock? Yeah, sure. Why on earth would I say no to that? Detective Gumshoe, if you could please inspect the insides of the clock. Yes, sir. My grandfather was a clock man. Yes, sir. I'm on it. I really was about to say my grandfather was a clock. Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir. It looks like a length of wire. This is what caused the clock to stop chiming. What was a long length of wire doing inside the clock in the first place? Well, my first initial thought is probably that wire might have been useful at making something look like it was flying. I'm using my past experience playing Ace Attorney games to figure that one out. What you sighing about, you? Why would someone do this to such a valuable clock? Sounds like it wasn't Mr. Palino that put the wire in there. Then perhaps it was Mr. Cochin's killer who did. We've examined everything in this office, but there's one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask Ambassador Palino about it. Ambassador Palino, there's something I'd like to ask you about. Yes? About this office. It appears to me to be very similar to Ambassador Alba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock. Ah, that's right. You've also paid a visit to the Alabastian side of the embassy. Our two embassies actually used to be one. Yes, I know, even the pamphlet mentioned that. Who reads pamphlets? Which is why the building is bilaterally symmetrical. Ew. So if everything is built to be exactly symmetrical, then I do believe we do have an escape route. So no matter which room the location of the fireplace and the like are exactly the same. Even where the art is located is the same, as my room is currently under renovation. We worked hard to make Manny's room look like the ambassador's office. You mean for your handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja? Yes, that's right. I mean, what's a photo like that worth if it's not taken in the ambassador's office, right? Yet another odd expression of Babel's obsessive competitive spirit with Alabast. I take it? Thank you, Ambassador. That piece of information is all I needed to connect the dots. In my head, I hear Phoenix saying that, so I've got all I need. Connect what dots? Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to be of some help. All right, so I'm guessing I can't actually look at it myself, so maybe I need to use some logic? Yo, I totally could. All right, connected fireplaces, bilateral symmetry. Let's friggin' go! The Alabastian and Babalese sides of the building are symmetrical to each other. As we know that to be a fact, and this room's fireplace may also hide a secret passageway. A secret passageway? In Alabast, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall. A revolving wall? That sounds like something out of a ninja house, and I'm one of those! Wow, was a trick like that built into the fireplace, sir? What? This embassy holds that kind of secret? Seems to be a lot about this room that you don't know about, Ambassador. I guess it's time to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know about the real Manny and what you know about this room. What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's get to the bottom of this. Agreed. And my first thought is that it's likely the killer used the revolving fireplace. Seems bleeding likely to me. Oh, I see it! I see the button! Looks like it's just another fireplace though, doesn't it? So how do you turn it again? In Alabast, I had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace. Oh, I see the X backs there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it. Nani? You scared me, sir. Something about this fireplace that lies in contradiction to the facts. Eh? We found an X where you thought there'd be one, right? We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from this scene. What does this contradiction mean for us? I won't rest until I've inspected all of the nooks and crannies. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. Hang on. Deduce! Alright, yes, I believe it is connected to Palino's testimonial. Yeah. Spilled ink into the back wall and left ashes there. I don't see either of those things. Eureka! Ambassador Palino, you said that you burned some old files in this fireplace today, correct? Yes, I burned quite a few files this morning, actually. Don't look into that. And after you did, well, by the way, you might have invested in a paper shredder. You forgot to clean out the ashes from the fireplace, correct? That's right, but why are you asking? Why are you making such a scary face? I'm sorry, I admit I'm a bit intimidating when I'm serious, which is literally always. In any case, take a good look at this fireplace and tell me what you find odd about it. Let's see. Where did all the ashes go? I might be able to logic up this noise. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't really think that Ambassador Palino is lying, do you? No, I think he just legit doesn't know. No, there's no reason for him to lie. And I don't believe his testimony is wrong either. It is the fireplace that is causing the contradiction. Okay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace data for me? You got it. I'll add in the ashes from the burnt files and bada bada beep beep bada bada boop boop. Sounds like we pretty much figured everything out now, huh? Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us. Oh, I sense it coming on. You're about to dazzle us with your crazy awesome brain powers, aren't you? Oh, you mean that? Well, it's what Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know? There's really no need for you two to dance around the name of what I'm about to do. Logic! All right, then let's see here. Revolving fireplace used? Yes. Missing ashes? Makes sense. It would end up on the other side. So if we flip-a-do-down the thing, and ashes pop out, then we know for a fact that it was used. The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple. It's not because someone cleaned them up, right? No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is too clean for that. Ambassador Palino said that he spilled some Babalese ink while he was burning the files. And yet, there's not a trace of the spilled ink on the back wall anywhere. Well, then I don't know what happened. Okay, I'm fairly disappointed in you, if I'm being honest. It should be pretty obvious. Well, I'll tell you what happened. The two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moved into the neighboring room, which means that this is a clear indication that the fireplace was used. Yatatata. Then, you mean, the person I was chasing disappeared from this room through there? Yes, I believe the person you are in pursuit of is Mr. Cochin's killer. And after committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace. Ta-da! Ain't that just about the peachy-keeniest of all things you ever did see? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out the killer's escape route. I have, but this is only the beginning. No, we have to chase the killer down and punch them in the face, aggressively! Let's see... Renovations? Escape through the fireplace? Okay, I just don't... I mean, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but I want to try it. Okay, that's what I thought. I mean, it seemed like a pretty safe bet. If the killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next, it's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room. Yo! I might have actually been right. Go fig. Well, the person that was in the next room was... Well, who was that person, sir? Yes, Detective Agent Sheena. Oh, investigation is now complete, apparently. It's looking more and more like Miss Sheena is the killer, isn't it? Well, let's not jump to conclusions yet, although, yes, it very much is. But we need to go through what we know so far. It's true, it's never a good idea to run in headfirst into something like this without really knowing everything. Gotta know your facts, gotta get them straight. Anyway, she came running straight into this room for the next one and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Cochin. I don't have any proof yet, however, I know she is hiding something from us. Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Sheena herself? Hell to the nah, you fool! No, not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoothy. Sir, is it my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I have a 2-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on Damask 2's note. Okay, I'll get the lab boys on that right away. Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall. Right now, sir? No, next decade. Of course now! We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we? Go on, Gummy, you can do it! Alright, I'm gonna do this like a real man. Here I go, through the fireplace and back. You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective. Maybe Gumshoe's claustrophobic. Have you ever asked him? Wow, this wall inside the fireplace really did turn. That's so neat. Now I want to try going through there too. There really is a secret passageway through there. I had no idea. It would appear that the ash really was pushed into the other room. It's good to get that confirmed rather than assumed. Furthermore, the Babbly's ink you spilled, Ambassador, is there on the back wall. Okay, here I go, sir! Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same conditions as the killer. Where's all that ash and stuff? And your point is, now we're short on time, so if you could please hurry on through. Yes, sir. Okay, so now we pretty much have the whole picture, right? Hell to the nah, you! No, not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve. We need the coolest pup in town. No. Such as the Yatagarasu's whereabouts, the other smuggling ring members, the 2 weapons that made it across the border, the key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies at all, in fact. Mr. Edgeworth, a number of pieces connect in a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. Yeah, that's how I usually feel playing these. What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said that it's easy if you follow the leads. Was that supposed to be an impression of me, Kay? If it's info gathering you need, Gummy and I can help with that. Then, all you have to do is show off your fancy schmancy logical deductions. Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that? Ever so slightly, yes. Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? You've been so focused like a laser on only what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think things through calmly, the answer should come to us. Okay. That's the sort of thing I can say to myself when I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know. That is something that I hope practice doesn't make perfect, for your sake. Yay! Looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again. And, Edgeworth. And Gumshoe's back! Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Yes, I can see that. Good work, Detective. Cuff! 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 Looks like you can use that fireplace like a door, sir. You alright, Gummy? Don't mind me. I just inhaled so much pathogens. Oy. Rather, I don't think that's the right word. A lot of ash, so yeah, I have a whole lot of paper in my gut. I'm okay. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all. The jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem has practically turned black. Yeah, well, quite a bit of the unburnt ink got on it, sir. Huh, I see. Thank you, Detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay the cleaning bill for that trench coat. No, sir, I could never. This is just my old coat, sir. If it was a coat I actually cared about, then I'd get it cleaned, but, you know. You see? Very well, then, as you wish. It was nice of him to offer, though. So, because Gummy was able to climb through the fireplace, we know it can be used, right? Yes, but that's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact. And that is? I'll have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. I'll be right back before you know it. The handwriting analysis on Mr. Cochin's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let's go wait in the Theatrum Trallis along with Agent Lang and Agent Sheena. To be continued. All right, so assuming that, you know, Callisto Yu is involved in all of this, I might as well just make my outlandish prediction now. Either she's phenomenally good at hiding, or she is Sheena. I don't think they particularly look alike in any regard, but that's like the only woman aside from Old Bag that's even been in this chapter. So that's just gonna be my guess. Could be wrong. We'll see. I mean, if I'm wrong, then I'm okay with looking stupid on that. If I'm right, but if I'm right, then I get to feel a little intelligent for a moment there. Old man! Agent Lang, I see you have your stupid sunglasses back. Langzy says, little cubs never do they know the real, little cubs, never do they know the real fury of the elder wolves. These quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. Lang, I hate to tell you this, but I think your ancestor might have submitted to senility at some point in their lives. What does that mean? It means that you'll never really know how angry I can get until I take my sunglasses off. Mr. Prosecutor, the counterfeit bills made with Bobbly's ink, they were all of Zengfa denominations. Yes, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. But we don't know where the play money has gone. They must not have figured out that it was all burnt yet. Then I should probably keep that to myself for the time being. That might be helpful. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zengfa's in a financial chaos as we speak. Because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. We're not good at things. But it's not just the money. The citizens are also worried. Let's stake the honor of the House of Lang on this. We've come to this land to capture the mastermind behind this whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zengfa, and I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, Don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Well, except for, the actual criminals. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh, no. It is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. If only I was able to think of a better solution. Cursius, I can only assume is how you pronounce that. You fool! Curse your empty brain! You're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. Take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes. I don't like to admit it, but there's not much else for us to do but to go home as well. Except I'm gonna have to ask you to not... Oh, what? Somebody else just say hold it? You, Wolfman, and the secretary lady. Hold it. Objection, pal. Detective Gumshoe. Have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already? Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Cochin, sir. Just as I thought. Good work, detective. But also, you guys, could you stick around for a bit? I kind of need to accuse one of you of crimes. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, how long do you intend to hold us up for? I'm getting my various half voices that I give characters all mixed up. Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something, if you don't mind. Well, too bad I do. Yes? How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu when you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Cochin was killed? I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor! What are you doing asking her about something she didn't see? Agent Lang hasn't touched the Babel investigation at all, so I suppose I will need to explain a few things to him first. Miles Edgeworth. I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. Yeah, well, I am an enigma. The only thing... Oh, sorry. That would have ruined Edgeworth's moment. He hiccuped in the middle. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. And my hiccups make me no less serious. Well, sounds like you have some sort of plan. Very well. I'll supervise you until the end. Is he seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day? You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you? Flimsy? Nay! She is just quite literally the only possible option here. I'm not trying to pick a fight, and the evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see. You think they, practiced that? I should have known. That you and I are destined to fight it out to the very end. It would appear that way. Doing. Well, I'll prove her innocence. So let's see what you got, Prosecutor Edgeworth. With pleasure. I like being smart. For my opening argument, I'll discuss the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel, and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. Let's friggin' go! Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony? You mean the suspicious person in a coat that she saw? Indeedy do. That's right. The person in one of those is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yatagarasu. Pretended? What do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second, but first I want to review what this person Kay saw did. Okay, if you could please explain what the person you were chasing did for us. Okay, you got it. I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babel East side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. Thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase, the way a K do. For the sake of argument, let's call the suspicious person the Yatagarasu. Now, please, tell us what happened when you chased the Yatagarasu up to the 3rd floor. Can do. Johnny Beef Stew, woo! Bum-ba-da-bum. I chased the Yatagarasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Babelese embassy. It was a pretty straight chase down the hallway until the sudden turn. I had to Tokyo drift my way across that corner, let me tell you. The Yatagarasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch up. With my ninja dash! When I turned the corner, I saw the Yatagarasu run into Mr. Cochin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. It was there that I found a ding-dang corpse. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black, and I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned on the light, but then... Egon's murder! Who's there? By the time I had turned on the lights, the Yatagarasu had disappeared. When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. What do you suppose that was, Agent Lang? What do you mean, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped out through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness. You fool! Sorry to ape your catchphrase there, Francisca. Sorry, but I know for a fact that the person didn't escape through that door. Oh? And how do you know that was such certainty? Well, that's easy. If the Yatagarasu had left through the door, they would have run right into this person. Bam, bada, bam, bada, bam, bam, bam. The fact that your age is unknown is definitely interesting. Like, do I know? Yeah, like Shaylong. Yeah, you're 27. It's interesting that that's just unknown information, ain't it? But yeah, she popped through that door immediately. Your answer is Sheena? Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Yatagarasu had used the door. When Kay screamed upon discovering Mr. Cochin's body, the Yatagarasu would have run right into Agent Sheena, who was in the next room over. Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see? Therefore, the Yatagarasu could not have escaped through the door. Okay, well, I guess you're gonna interrupt me. It just means that the creep slipped out before Sheena made it out into the hallway. Missed me with that mess. I doubt that, as there was another person in that hallway. A certain detective. Detective Gumshoe. Where were you exactly at that time? Me, sir? Well, when I heard Kay scream... Ah, ain't that convenient! I ran towards Mr. Cochin's office from the opposite direction of Agent Sheena, sir. Right into the pincer maneuver. So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route. Yeah, wrong! Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. You nailed him with just an explanation of what happened. Yes, I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room. Well, this is far from over. I need to make Agent Lang aware as well of yet another possible escape route the Yatagarasu could have taken. I get it. So that's what you were trying to show me. Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? Because the door was not a viable escape route, then there must have been another way out. Egad, somehow you've managed to figure out the obvious. I'm proud of you. Precisely. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time to bust out with our revolving fireplace wall explanation, right? No, not quite. But why? I thought this would be the perfect time. The revolving wall on the Babelese side is known only to 4 people. And if we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end. It's much easier to keep as much information as we have to our chests. That way we can, find slip-ups in people that are supposed to not know things. What's all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics? Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off. That smug, haughty attitude of yours. You really rub me the wrong way, you know that? He does that to everybody. You kind of get used to it. Could become slightly endearing, in fact. Well, no matter. I figured you out already anyway. The only other possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. It sets an eerie picture of the said escape route exists. Are you saying that this photo captures the moment of the Yatagarasu's escape? I guess Detective Bad must have filled him in on this photo. I have to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. I mean, I guess it was, technically, but I personally didn't buy it. I was much more convinced on the, whatchamacallit, fireplace escape thing first. However, I know that to be impossible. I realize you may not know this, but I've moved slightly further back, so I'm going to do my pointing animation. Or rather, I guess we'll both do it. Either way. Humans can't fly. Because they can't! Jesus Christ, what have I been doing every Thursday? Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never said I thought the photo to be of the Yatagarasu's escape route. I suppose not. Alright, my bad. I jumped to conclusions. I apologize. Alright, then explain yourself. The shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu that Kay was chasing after. Okay, fine, interrupting me. You can say whatever you'd like in whatever language you want. Even wingdings. But there's only one language I really understand. The language of evidence. That's right, I don't even speak my own language fluently. Bet you got caught off guard by that. Very well, then. I present to you proof that the person Kay saw is not the same as the one in the photo. What? Okay. Proof that the person Kay saw is not the same as the one in the photo. Huh. The fact that it's so dead silent is kind of putting me on edge. Photo taken after the first fire, the fourth and fifth floors had taken place. Oh. I'm going to try it. Let me explain to you precisely. Okay, yeah, I think I got it right. I wasn't positive about that. It just seemed like the only piece of evidence that would have worked for this. Let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in this photo is not the Yatagarasu Kay saw. Kay spotted the Yatagarasu heading for the third floor during the second fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the first fire. There we go. Yeah, way to go. That's twice you bit him in the butt now. I have done no such thing. How dare you accuse me of that? We're not done yet. You still have to explain what the shadow is. And how the Yatagarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet. As I thought. However, the Yatagarasu's escape route? Oh, now that I can answer. Nani? Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on. Enlighten me. I don't want to. Even if I explain it, you'll try to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Alabastian investigation, correct? In that case, I doubt you'd have much knowledge about the Babalese side of the case. So wouldn't it be best if the lead on that side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead? Sheena's my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eyes and call myself a boss? To be fair, it's kind of hard to see her eyes in general with the sunglasses and the haircut, but, you know, Lang, it's all right. I can take care of him. Sheena, you shield me as lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth. All right, if you're okay with it, then you have my support. Finally, it's down to just the Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it you'd like to ask? Well, let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babalese embassy? Okay. What you got? During the first Babalese fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel. no, we are waiting. Dun, dun, dun. While I was searching, I had heard a scream coming from the next room over. And naturally, I saw someone freaking out over a dead body, and I assumed, hey, they probably killed that person. I mean, who wouldn't be terrified of a body that they created later in the fact, which is weird. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yatagarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Yatagarasu even exists. You made yourself a bit of a boo-boo. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm not lying when I say I saw the suspicious person run into Mr. Cochin's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner with you when you were on investigation? No, I moved alone. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi, is that correct? Oh, hold on a second, dear. You calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. That is literally what she did to Kay. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale? Oh, god damn it. Okay, you got me there. And how about when you accused Larry because he was the weapon's owner? Okay, I get it. I'm bad at my job. Jesus, you think I don't know? Not that it's unexpected for that useless lump to get into such a situation. Although I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. I'll make no excuse for what I did in that situation. Oh, I can appreciate that much, at least. And you should apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. I'm sorry. Should not apologize. I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think I'd actually see that. All right. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second. Head pat. And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea, though, my dude. Well, let's put that to the test and see if she really is worthy of your trust. This promises to be interesting. Alright, what do we got? Alright. During the first Valdez fire, I assisted putting it out. In the second fire, I was searching for the Yatagarasu. I was searching, I heard a scream. But then, wouldn't you go and do it? You said you'd never caught a glimpse. Well, I consider that to be a big pile of impossible. Check a low. Wait, hang on. What? Where is it anyway? There it is. What do you gotta say about this? Objection. Impossible for you to have not borne witness to it. Being in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office is the problem with your testimony. Not so fast. Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all. Now, well, you wouldn't. You weren't friggin' there, now would you? Now sit your ass down and I'll explain you some logics. Agent Lang, do you recall the secret we discovered about the Alabastian office fireplace? You mean how it connects to the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Alabast isn't the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. My jam is playing! The fireplace in Mr. Cochin's office holds the exact same secret. What? The Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window or to the wall. Holla holla. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall into the next room over. Now, do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, then the thief would have run straight into Agent Sheena. What you gotta say about that mess, huh? Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu. What is the meaning of this, Miles? Well, would you care to explain, Agent Sheena? How you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I? Your claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? Truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, and you were the one she chased after. As you tried to lose her, you ran into Mr. Cochin's office and headed for the fireplace. Then you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Sheena. After that, you came back around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace. How dare you make Kay look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal? Oh my god, I think I was right. Sheena? Are we about to see something? This is ominous. Yep! Oh my god, she actually is you. That sprite looks even weirder with that model. Okay. That laugh. That nasty ass laugh. I remember this irritating laugh. Ugh, I'm getting chills down my spine. It can't be, but it has to be. Sheena, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry, it was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? Yeah, you tend to do that a lot. Even, there's only one person on this earth I know laughs at literally everything that isn't funny. Yes, and that you would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are also very strange. I mean, that's true, yes. You think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? You think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. It's the prosecutor who is. In what regard? Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. You got a Yatagarasu who fled through the fireplace? Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of your voice you're taking with me now has certainly changed. Well, that's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose, and then we can have a real battle of wits. For an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind, it is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. Oh, I know. And that's why I won't hold anything back either as I answer your question. My question? Here's your proof that the revolving fireplace wall in Babel was used recently. I believe that would be the testimonial? That would make the most sense, I think. Rather than just showing the fireplace again. I'm sorry, but this is really your honest answer to my question? Did I do it wrong? Yes. Oh, no, I did it. According to Ambassador Palino's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Cochin. Oh? The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. Why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up. Objection! That's exactly why I'm bringing it up, stupid! I'm smug as hell! Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Palino said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. A phoenix rose through them, though not the one we know of. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pushed into the next room by the wall as well. The jams are playing. I'm in the right. I guess are in the Edgeworth. The movements of the ashes that were in Mr. Cochin's office is my proof. I had to make one fake laugh in there. And just what is so funny? Ash is proof? I mean, man, if it were a Brock or a Misty, sure, but Ash? Sorry, that's too obvious, but I had to do it. Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? You still wish to fight us? Of course, why wouldn't I? In that case, let's hear your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court. Yeah, well, you would remember, wouldn't you? Well, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes, you do. It doesn't matter if we're in the crime scene or in court. Let's finish this here and now. I suppose. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. You're saying the same things! Ballistic missile and turtle! Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Yeah, okay, sure. Let's friggin' do that. In my eyes, all you've proven is that the rotating fireplace was used. But you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace now, can you? So then who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation. And we found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Cochin's office. Really? Well, that one's pretty easy. I can do that one. There you have it. My counter-argument. Gaggin! That's very impressive, is it? I actually thought it was rather lackluster. She's seen right through to the fact that I have yet to gather that one piece of evidence. What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while now. If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest of it to us. But Kay, pull yourself together. You're the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not? If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. This chase you're running to catch the truth, you must see it through to the very end. Mr. Edgeworth. You're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth. With pleasure. Looks like a lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena, please. Show me you're someone I can trust. Don't worry. This will be the deciding match. You'll see. I'm truly sorry, Agent Lang, but I simply can't allow her to escape me again. Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin? I'm ready whenever you are. I mean, this seems really super obvious to me. I mean, even if it's not directly showing to be, you know, she's the one that did it, there's still a contradiction that I can easily poke a hole in. Alright, so hang on a second here. Yeah, remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation, and we didn't find anything suspicious in the office. Yeah, alright. You didn't even look inside the damn clock? You weren't really trying very hard now, were you? Well, you say that you and your agents have finished your thorough investigation. Are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything? Well, aren't we full of ourselves standing there insulting Interpol agents? You better not be insinuating that my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor. I'd never do that. However, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire. What exactly is this supposed to mean? Length of wire? So what about it? I'll tell you what. We found this in the Babalese embassy not long ago. What? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office. You found that? At the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder? How'd that go, huh? But this wire wasn't all we found. We found one other very important thing. There's more? In Mr. Cochin's office, there were signs that someone had burnt counterfeit bills there. What did the... Yeah! What you gotta say about that, huh? That evidence was something you found out through that girl's machine, right? So what if it was? Yeah, well, that's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No, they were literally paper. No. You see? So there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can call evidence anyway. I'm sorry, but I seem to have given you the wrong impression. How so? I don't recall saying that I was presenting evidence of any sort. But rather, I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete. And that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Well, yeah, you're literally the only person you could possibly be. All right, then, I ask that you point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. The other Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Sheena. And it's not possible that the reason the person K was chose the third floor was because the person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we've come to see that Agent Sheena was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there's one location that no one has yet to inspect. Well, if you're gonna ask me the question in that regard, this whole ass room here hasn't been investigated at all. The location Agent Sheena is, of course, the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Cochin's office warrants a thorough inspection. Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use to you there. I'll be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out the room to the next office. Gumshoe away!